Hello everyone. So we are presenting NeuraDNS. Before we start, please do not miss this theoretical part after this demo finished. You can directly jump into the theoretical part as well because it explains each component in detail and in very interesting way. So this is our blockchain-based DNS registration system powered by Ethereum and AI validation. What if we could register domains on the blockchain with AI protection, right? So let me show you something very cool. So this is our portal, and if I want to check some domain like my project dot eth dot n, right? So let me check the availability of this domain if it is available or not. So yes, AI checks in the backend and it says my project dot ets dot n is valid and it is available. Okay, so I want to register it. Let me register. Okay, so it says for the 2 MNE coins, as it was in the requirement that we need to have the transaction in MNE coins. Okay, let me register it. So my project dot eth.n, and I need to give some valid address, so 1.1.3.3, right? And there is a delete code. Why we have kept it? What if I want to delete this domain in future? So this is a feature that this domain could be deleted. So but I need to give some code that user will give. So I can give like secret 123. This could be any key. So let me approve it. Okay, it says connect wallet first. Let me connect my wallet. Okay, it's connected. Let me prove it again. Okay, so MetaMask opens. Okay, it asks me for confirmation. Let me confirm and let's see if it gets approved for the MNEE tokens layer. It's processing. Wait a little. Okay, so MNEE approved. Now click to register. Let me register it. Okay, so it asks me for the confirmation again for the transaction, final transaction. Okay, let me confirm it. Okay, so the portal showing the registration is currently in process. And here we go. Domain registered successfully, and it also showing us the transaction on Etherscan. Let me open it. So yes, the transaction is valid, hence our domain must be registered. Let me check the availability again, if it is available or not. Ideally it shouldn't be, but let us check. So yes, it is showing the correct detail that the status is taken, so the domain is not available. But what if I want to delete it and then check it again? So my project.ets.in, and I kept the key as secret 23. Let me delete it. Okay, so it is asking for the confirmation. Let me confirm it. Okay, so it is in currently process. Deleting domain. And boom, domain deleted successfully. Let me see the transaction on Etherscan. So yes, it's showing the correct details. Now let me check this domain again, if it is available or not. Previously it was showing that it was taken, but let me check the availability again. So yes, it is available. It is working perfectly as expected. Thank you.
You know, every single time you type a website into your browser, you're actually using a piece of tech that's straight out of the 1980s. Seriously, it's the internet's phone book. And let's be honest, it is long overdue for a massive upgrade. So let's dive into what comes next, a system called NeuraDNS. So what even is DNS? Well, the phone book analogy is pretty much perfect. You type in a human-friendly name like google.com, and DNS is the system that looks it up and finds the real address, that long string of numbers, the IP address, that your computer needs to connect. It really is the invisible glue holding our entire online world together. And the scale here, it's just staggering. This one system serves almost 5 billion people around the globe. It handles trillions upon trillions of requests every single day. You could easily argue it's one of the most critical pieces of infrastructure in the modern world. Okay, but here's the big question. What happens when that phone book, which was designed back in the era of dial-up, just can't keep up with our world of AI and instant everything? What if it's not just old? What if it's fundamentally broken?
And that really gets to the heart of the problem, right? We're trying to run a 21st century internet on a system that's over 40 years old. And the cracks, well, they're not just showing anymore. They're causing some very, very expensive problems.
And this is where you can really see the financial damage. These aren't just little glitches. You've got homograph attacks. That's when a scammer registers a site like Microsoft.com, hoping you won't notice the R and N, costing over $50 million a year. When parts of the centralized system fail, it can knock huge services offline, costing businesses over $100 million. And then there's BGP hijacking, which is basically someone changing the road signs on the internet. That costs upwards of $150,000 for every single incident. This is way past being an inconvenience. It's a full-blown financial and security crisis.
And it gets worse. The problems go way beyond just security. The way we pay for domains is totally archaic. It's all built on credit cards, which means you've got chargebacks, you've got people manually resolving disputes. It's a mess, and it's completely incompatible with where we're headed. Think about it. How could an AI agent buy a domain for a task? With today's system, it just can't.
So how in the world do you fix a broken phone book this big? Well, you don't just put a little patch on it, you have to rewrite it from the ground up. And the solution here? NeuraDNS is built on this really fascinating mix of 3 powerful technologies working together.
So let's break down how this actually works. First, you've got an AI brain that's like a security guard, constantly watching for fraud in real time. Then, you have a blockchain backbone, specifically an Ethereum smart contract that creates a permanent, unchangeable record of who owns what. And finally, you have programmable money, acting as the fuel, which lets the whole thing run instantly, automatically, and securely.
Okay, now that third layer, the whole programmable money thing, that's where this gets truly revolutionary. By using a stablecoin called MNEE, which is always pegged to the US dollar, you completely change the economic engine behind buying and selling domains. And this just lays it out so clearly. With traditional payments, you're waiting 3 to 5 business days for money to settle. Here, it takes about 15 seconds. Those $400 million that are lost every year to fraudulent chargebacks, they just disappear. It's literally impossible in this new system. And most importantly, it's built from day one for AI agents to use.
And would you believe it all comes down to this? This one single line of code is the magic key. All it's saying is, hey, take the exact registration price in MNEE from the buyer and send it directly to the owner. This one command handles the payment and the ownership transfer all in one single, unstoppable atomic step.
The result is a transaction that's so incredibly efficient, it's almost hard to believe. You pay with the stablecoin, you instantly get cryptographic proof of ownership, and that fact is recorded forever on the blockchain where no one can change it. There are no banks, no credit card companies, and absolutely no chance of fraud or chargebacks.
Now, let's circle back to that first layer we talked about, because it's just as critical. The AI Guardian. This is what's standing watch, protecting the whole system. It's basically an intelligent gatekeeper for the internet's front door.
And this right here is a little peek inside the AI's brain. So when a scammer tries to register rnmicrosoft.com, the AI doesn't just see a bunch of letters. It understands the intent. It immediately flags it as a homograph attack, explains exactly why it's dangerous, and rejects it on the spot before it ever has a chance to be used for a phishing scam. And its performance numbers are just wow. It catches over 99% of those tricky homograph attacks and punny-code attacks. That's where they use letters from a different alphabet that look the same, like a Cyrillic A in Apple.com. This AI is essentially an immune system for the entire naming layer of the internet.
So you can start to see how all these pieces click together to build something really powerful. But the vision here is so much bigger than just making a better system for domain names.
This is about laying the groundwork for a whole new kind of commerce.
And when you look at the roadmap, you can really see that evolution playing out. It starts with the foundation, the core system, which is already done. But then it quickly grows into a full marketplace. And then, this is the really exciting part, an SDK, a software kit, specifically for AI agents. This is the step where it goes from a cool project to the beginning of a true automated economy.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? The very first step to doing business online is getting a domain name. If you can rebuild that fundamental first step to be programmable, intelligent, and unstoppable, you totally change the possibilities for everything that gets built on top of it.
So this all leaves us with a really fascinating thought to end on. We're right on the edge of making the internet's most basic directory fully automated, smart, and trustless. If we can solve that, what other fundamental pieces of our digital world are ready for a rewrite?